Today we're going to make this. This is emulsified body butter using water and an emulsifier. To make this, you need vanilla beans infused in jojoba oil, calendula in sunflower oil, lavender buds in fractionated coconut oil. You'll need a liquid. You can use either distilled water or rose water. If you want to use rose water, I have a recipe under the DIY section on my website. You'll need a hydrosol. I use rose hydrosol, but you can use a hydrosol of your choice. You also need glycerin, xanthum gum, a solid butter like shea butter or a butter of your choice. You will also need infused oils, your lavender bud infused coconut oil, calendula infused sunflower oil, and jojoba infused with vanilla beans. You'll also need emulsifier. I use emulsifying wax NF because it's easy to find. Add in cetyl alcohol and stearic acid to stabilize and thicken the body butter formulation. You'll also need an antioxidant. I use vitamin E, but you can also use wheat germ oil. If you also want to scent your body butter, you can add in essential oil or oils of your choice. I chose to scent mine. And lastly, you will need a preservative. I use Optiphen Plus because it's easy to find, but you can use a more natural preservative such as Preservative Eco, but I had to buy that from Canada. Pour your rose water or distilled water in a heat-safe container and heat it slowly on the stove. Next, combine your xanthum gum with your glycerin to create a slurry. Mix this really well. After your slurry has been well incorporated, take the shea butter and add it to the emulsified wax, stearic acid, and cetyl alcohol. Add the liquid oils and put it on the stove to melt gently. While the waxes, butters, and oils are melting and the rose water is heating up, go ahead and combine your slurry into your hydrosol. If you have a mini hand blender like this frother that I have, it's very helpful, but you don't need it. You could just use your mixing spoon or rod. Pour the slurry into the hydrosol slowly and keep stirring to prevent the hydrosol from clumping up. The liquid will become a bit frothy and gel up almost immediately, but keep mixing until everything is well incorporated. The liquid will become very viscous or thick, but don't stop mixing. Keep mixing until everything is well incorporated. scrape every bit of the slurry and continue to mix well. It will become more frothy and more thick. After that, take the heated rose water from the stove and pour the mixture into the rose water and mix thoroughly in there until it thickens up. Return the thickened rose water to the water bath to let it heat up while you wait for the waxes, butters, and oils to melt. I continuously stir the thickened rose water as I wait for the butter to melt. And you can see here that it's melting, so I'm just stirring the butter and the oils a bit so that it's melts evenly. The emulsifier, butter, and oil have fully melted, so I checked the temperature. It was in the 160s. After it's fully melted, pour the oil mixture into the thickened rose water. After the melted oil has been poured into the thickened rose water, use a hand blender and blend the emulsion. It will start to thicken almost immediately. After your emulsion has been well incorporated, check your temperature. Ensure that the temperature is 140 degrees Fahrenheit or less. Then add your preservative, add your antioxidant, and optional, add your essential oil if you like. Blend really well with a hand mixer or manually. Continue to stir the emulsion while it cools. You will notice the texture become creamier as it cools. After mixing has been completed, add the Emulsified Body Butter to containers. Affix a label on it by adding the name of the product and a date that it was made. The Emulsified Body Butter is thick enough to be scooped with a spatula or a spoon, as you could see here in the video. Give the container a few quick successive taps on the counter to settle the product so you can add more product to the container. To remove butter that's on the outside of the container, take a paper towel that has a bit of alcohol on it and wipe the container clean. Do not cap the containers until the emulsified body butter has completely cooled. Here I'm demonstrating how thick and creamy the product is. It's very easy to apply, it absorbs really well into the skin, and it's not as greasy as the typical body butter.